95% of enterprise AI pilots fail to reach production. Your vendor is likely selling AI like it's magic. Just plug it in and watch efficiency soar. But that demo was running on clean data, perfect prompts, and a controlled environment that looks nothing like your operations. You're about to spend 6 months and a lot of money on learning lessons that you don't need to learn. Let me tell you about a county that learned this the expensive way. They were modernizing citizen services. Someone on staff had seen demos of AI chatbots, residents asking questions, getting instant answers. It looked incredible. The IT director got excited. He brought in 3 vendors to demo. The winning demo was flawless. Someone typed, "When is my trash pickup?" The bot responded instantly, not just with the day, but with the specific route, the time window, even a note about the upcoming holiday schedule change. Now, what if I have bulk items? The bot explained the bulk pickup program, the scheduling process, the size limits. How do I pay my water bill? Options appeared: online portal, phone payment, in-person locations with hours and addresses. The IT director was sold. The vendor was confident. Council approved $180,000 for implementation. And 6 months later, here's what's actually happening in production. As a resident typed, "My trash wasn't picked up yesterday, and it's been sitting out for 2 days now, and there's a smell, and my HOAs don't going to find me. What do I do?" And the bot responded, "Trash pickup schedules vary by route. Please visit our website for more information." The resident, frustrated, typed back, "I know the schedule. They missed my house. I need someone to come get it." And the bot responded, "I'm sorry you're experiencing difficulties. For missed pickups, please contact the Public Works Department during business hours." The resident could have found that information on the website in 30 seconds. The AI added nothing. Another interaction. "I'm moving next month and need to transfer my utilities, but I'm also disputing a charge on my last bill, and I think you overcharged me for water in July." And the bot responded, "For account transfers, please visit our website or call customer service. For billing questions, please contact our billing department." 3 separate issues, 0 actual help. Just to redirect to the same places the resident could have found without the chatbot. What went wrong? The demo was trained on clean, simple, single-issue questions. When is trash day? Where do I pay my bill? What are your hours? And by the way, this can be done. This simple chatbot can be built without AI for a lot less than $180,000. Real citizens don't ask clean questions. They don't know what to ask. They don't know your systems. They don't know your organization. They may be new to the city. They ask messy questions, loaded with context, emotion, frustration, and multiple tangled issues. They assume the system knows things it doesn't know: their address, their account, their history with the department. The AI could pattern match on keywords. So when it heard the word trash, it retrieved trash information. When it heard bill, it retrieved billing information. But it couldn't actually understand what the person needed. It couldn't recognize that "my trash wasn't picked up" is fundamentally different from "when is trash day." One is a status question. The other is a service failure requiring action. But here's the deeper failure, and this is the important part. The problem they were trying to solve was never citizens can't find information. The county website had all that information. The real problem was citizens have complex situations that require human judgment to resolve. Someone disputing a bill needs a human to review the account, look at the meter readings, make a judgment call. Someone with a missed pickup needs a human to schedule a special collection. Someone moving with multiple account issues needs a human to coordinate across systems. So they bought AI to solve a problem that this AI implemented this way, by the way. There's ways to do it the right way. But it was implemented in this simplistic, quick way, and this AI couldn't solve it. The diagnosis was wrong, so the treatment was useless. The chatbot is still live today. Almost nobody uses it. When they do use it, 70% of conversations end with "transfer to human agent." So they spent $180,000 to add a speed bump before the help desk. So let's talk about an agency that got it right. And I want you to notice how different their approach was from the beginning. Similar starting point. They wanted to use AI to improve citizen services. There was pressure from leadership and council to do something with AI. The same vendor buzz, the same exciting demos, the same slick marketing. But instead of jumping to solutions, they started with a question. What problems do we actually have? They spent 6 weeks before talking to any vendor, analyzing their actual service data. Not what they assumed people were asking about, but what the data showed people were actually asking about. They pulled call logs, they categorized emails, they surveyed front desk staff. And by the way, you don't have to do this by yourself. You can do this in a vendor agnostic way, because when a software or an AI software vendor calls you, all they want to do is plug their product in and go away. Not all vendors. There's vendors, and in the majority of them, they're calling this plug and play when it's not. So this organization mapped the entire inbound request landscape. What they discovered surprised them. 40% of their inbound contact volume was people just checking status, not asking questions, not requesting services, just checking status. Where's my building permit in the review process? Did you receive my business license renewal application? What's happening with the pothole I reported last week? Has my payment posted yet? Thousands of calls and emails every single week asking the same fundamental question. Where is my thing? And here's what made this interesting. These weren't complex questions requiring judgment. They were simple database lookups. The information existed in their systems. A human was looking it up and reading it back to the caller. That's all that was happening. A human intermediary between the citizen and a database. That's how things happen today. That's how they've happened for a long, long time. Now, that's a fundamentally different problem than help me resolve my complex billing dispute. That's a problem AI can actually solve, the first one. So they built an AI assistant, not a general purpose chatbot that tried to handle everything, but a purpose-built status checking tool that did one thing exceptionally well. And by the way, no AI can solve all problems with one project. Every single use case needs its own implementation, and that is what's missing in the communications you're receiving from software vendors, especially AI vendors. So they connected it to their permitting system, their work order system, their payment processing system, their license database, real integrations, real data, real time. And by the way, yes, they require APIs, they require integrations, they need to be kept up with. So guess what? It's a software implementation. AI has been sold as this magic pill that it isn't. It's still a software implementation. All of the nitty-gritty, non-sexy stuff that goes on in a software implementation also needs to happen in an AI implementation. So when someone asks, what's the status of my building permit? The AI didn't give generic information about permits. It asked for an identifier, permit number, address, applicant name, and pulled the actual record. Your permit application number 2024 blah 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 for 123 Main Street is currently in structural review. It's third in the review queue, and based on current processing timelines, estimated completion is 5 to 7 business days. You'll receive an email notification when the review is complete. That's not a simple chatbot. That's a self-service portal powered by natural language. Did you receive my business license renewal? Yes, your renewal application for Johnson Consulting LLC was received on November 3rd. Payment of $150 has been processed. Your new license will be mailed within 10 business days. You can also download a printable temporary license from your account portal. Specific, actionable, actually useful, specific, actionable, actually helpful. And the results? The call volume for status checks dropped 60% in the first 6 months. Not because they forced people to use the AI, but because the AI tool actually worked and they did it right. They implemented it right. And so the people preferred getting instant answers to waiting on hold. Staff time freed up dramatically. The people who used to answer where's my permit calls 40 times a day could now focus on complex issues. They could solve workforce issues elsewhere that actually required human judgment. Citizen satisfaction went up, not down, because they got instant answers instead of waiting 15 minutes on hold. And here's the thing about costs. The implementation costs roughly the same as the failed chatbot, around $200,000, including integration work. But the ROI was real and measurable. They calculated staff time savings of $150,000 per year. The project paid for itself in 18 months. Same technology category, same budget range, same pressure to do AI. Completely opposite outcomes. The difference wasn't the vendor or the software itself. It wasn't the model. It wasn't the technology. The difference was the problem selection. How specific can you get with your pilot? Not, can AI solve all my problems? Even if you think about, can AI solve my customer service problem? What does that mean? There's so many different aspects to customer service. What are your customers asking for? So the difference was problem selection. So the first agency asked, how do we implement AI for citizen services? Very broad question. The second agency asked, what specific problem do we have that AI is actually good at solving today? That second question, that question is where most government AI initiatives go wrong. They start with the technology and go looking for problems, instead of starting with problems and evaluating whether AI is the right solution. And so if you're talking to an AI software provider that's saying we can solve any problem for you, just get started, I'd pause there. And if you want to learn more about how to select a good pilot in a use case, click on this video. So based on what I've seen across dozens of government AI initiatives, the success and the failures, let me give you the 5 reasons AI pilots fail, and more importantly, what to do instead. Reason 1, and this is the big one. This is where most failures begin. It's selecting the wrong problem. AI is not general purpose magic. It isn't. We're being told that. But it's not. Current AI, including the impressive large language models, they're good at specific things. Pattern matching on large data sets. If you have thousands of examples and want to classify new items into categories, AI can do that well. Retrieving and summarizing information. If you have a corpus of documents and want to find and synthesize relevant information, AI can do that. Generating text-based examples. If you have a style and format you want to replicate, AI can produce similar content. Classifying and routing. If you need to look at incoming requests and send them to the right department, AI can learn those platforms. But AI is genuinely bad at other things. Novel judgment calls. This is where it needs to be trained. Situations that require weighing competing values, making ethical trade-offs, considering context that isn't in the training data. Understanding context it wasn't trained on. Your specific policies, your specific systems, your specific exceptions and edge cases. Things that don't happen often. Handling edge cases gracefully. The unusual situations that don't fit the patterns. The citizen who has 3 issues tangled together, the request that's technically outside policy but has obvious merit, and critically, knowing what it doesn't know. AI will confidently give wrong answers, and we've all seen this, right? It doesn't raise its hand and say, I'm not sure about this one, I made it up. It just answers confidently, correctly seemingly, and sometimes not. So most failed AI pilots picked problems that require judgment, context, and edge case handling. Exactly what AI is not good at. So when they're surprised when it doesn't work, why would you be? So here's what to do instead. Before any AI initiative, I know you're getting a lot of pressure from council, commissions, boards. Do something with AI. But before you do anything, map your actual workflows. I know you don't want to hear this. This is not AI, you say. But that's where it all starts. What are you trying to solve? Not the org chart, not the theoretical processes, the actual work. Identify the tasks that are high volume, repetitive, based on data retrieval or pattern matching, and have clear right answers. And this is where an AI needs assessment can be handy, a third-party review of what you might need from an AI provider or an AI project. And those are your AI candidates. The outcome of an AI needs assessment should give you your AI candidates, the tasks that require judgment, contextual knowledge, handling exceptions, navigating ambiguity, and those stay with humans. AI can assist, but AI shouldn't decide. That's what's called human in the loop. Reason 2, garbage data. And we've talked about this. Here's a phrase I want you to remember. AI amplifies what exists. If your data is clean, consistent, well organized, AI can do remarkable things with it. It can find patterns you'd never see. It can process volumes no human could handle. If your data is garbage, inconsistent, incomplete, duplicated, outdated, incorrectly categorized, AI will produce garbage outputs faster, at scale, with complete confidence that you wouldn't know that it was bluffing. And by the way, if you want to learn how to clean your data, how to migrate data from one system to the other, click on this video here. Now, this is not a theoretical problem. I've talked to an agency that tried AI-powered budget forecasting. Great idea in principle, because we all know how important budget forecasting is, how cumbersome budgeting can be if you don't have the right tools. So they had 10 years of historical budget data, perfect training set, right? Except over 10 years, they'd used 3 different coding schemes for revenue categories. And I'm an accountant. That just, made me break out in hives. So what was coded as permits in 2015 was coded as development fees in 2018 and building services revenue in 2022. Same money from the same source, different labels. And there was a year, and they discovered this during the project, where test data from a system migration had accidentally been mixed in the production data set. Fake numbers treated as real. And certain expense categories changed meaning over time as departments reorganized. So the AI learned from all of this faithfully. It did its job in that sense. It found patterns in the noise and inconsistency. It produced forecasts that looked sophisticated. Lots of decimal places, confident projections, great charts and graphs, but the forecasts were garbage. They couldn't match reality because the training data didn't reflect reality. They'd spent $120,000 to build a sophisticated system for producing wrong answers. So what should you do instead? How should you take this on? Before any AI initiative, like I said, audit the data you're planning to use. Not, do we have the data? You have the data. Everyone has data. You have multiple systems. The data lives everywhere. It's in your ERP system. It's in your HCM system. It's in files, in Excel folders. It's in your shared drives. But the questions are, is it clean? Is it consistent? Is it complete? Is it representative of what you're trying to predict or classify, of what you're trying to solve? So here's my test. Would a human analyst trust this data to make recommendations? Would they feel confident presenting findings based on this data set? If a human wouldn't trust the data, do not give it to AI. AI is not going to magically fix data problems. It will learn the problems and reproduce them. Data cleanup isn't sexy. It doesn't demo well. It's not what AI vendors want to talk about, but it's often the actual work that determines whether AI succeeds or fails. And it's a roadblock. You're not ready for AI. And that's a big reason why it might fail. Reason 3, the demo environment lie. Every AI demo you've seen was conducted in a carefully controlled environment. It's like a lab. It's a perfect setting. They have all the clean data. They have all the clean workflows. The assumptions are all clean inputs. The questions in the demo are well-formed, unambiguous, spelled correctly, focused on single issues, predictable scenarios. The demo shows the use cases the system was optimized for, not the weird edge cases, not the unexpected inputs, curated data, pure, pristine data. The demo environment has clean, complete, well-structured data, not the messy reality of your production systems. And you know what I'm talking about. The vendor has also tuned exactly how to ask questions to get good answers. Optimizing prompts, real users won't ask that way. By the way, if you want to learn more about vaporware, software that doesn't exist and is being shown to you, click on this video. But what does your production environment have? Messy inputs from real users who don't phrase things correctly or cleanly, who make typos, who include irrelevant information, who ask 3 questions at once. Edge cases the demo never imagined, right? The situations don't fit patterns. The residents with unusual circumstances. Data quality issues that the test environment carefully avoided. Then there's the missing fields, the inconsistent formats, the records that haven't been updated in years. A good example is Main Street the same as Main ST? Do your phone number fields include words and letters. So integration challenges, then there's integration challenges with your actual current systems. There's slow APIs, databases that don't connect, legacy systems that cannot be modified, and you don't want to touch them because you don't want to break them. Then you talk about scale and performance requirements that the demo could not test because it's a controlled lab environment. So, for example, what happens when 100 people use this AI chatbot or AI system simultaneously? What happens at month end when the volume spikes? The gap between the demo environment and the production environment is where AI projects die. Not because the vendor lied, the demo was real. But the demo environment was not your environment. You didn't choose it. The demo data was not your data. The demo users were not your users, nor were they real. So how do you do this instead? How do you get demos on AI that work for you? Demand proof of concept on your actual systems, not the vendor's test environment. Now keep in mind, when you take on a demo from an AI software, any software, they will have to show you based on their test data, based on their demo scripts. They want to show you what the product can do. But that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So you take that demo, and then the next step actually is a proof of concept. Don't just jump in and buy the whole thing. Demand proof of concept. Maybe pay them for a proof of concept project. That's the pilot. Pick the right pilot, right? Pick the right function, the right use case, the right outcome you're looking for. And don't buy just based on the vendor's test environment. You need it from your real data, the messy stuff, the inconsistent stuff. What you'll find out is as you start the pilot, you'll realize how ready you are. And more often than not, you're not going to be. There'll be a ramp up time to get ready for the AI deployment. So if a vendor won't do that or can't do it, they're selling you a demo, not a solution. A demo is a promise. A proof of concept that works for you on your systems is evidence. Reason 4, there's no human in the loop. Now, here's something that AI vendors don't emphasize in their pitches. AI is wrong sometimes. So the vendors that are telling you you don't need a lift from IT, you don't need a human in the loop, they're just plain wrong. There's no ambiguity there. For some applications, errors are annoying but manageable. A product recommendation, so what they don't tell you is AI can be wrong sometimes. Not occasionally, regularly. Even the best AI systems have meaningful error rates. So when you're using GPT, look at the bottom. AI can be wrong. Every one of them says that. So for some applications, errors are annoying but manageable, not catastrophic. A product recommendation that's off base, a document summary that misses a point, inconvenient, not catastrophic. For government applications, though, errors can be serious. A wrong answer about benefits eligibility might mean someone doesn't get help they qualify for. Someone goes hungry or homeless. A wrong answer about permit requirements might mean someone built something they shouldn't or doesn't build something they could. A wrong classification of a complaint might mean a serious issue gets ignored. A wrong response to a resident might erode trust in government services. If you want to learn more about building trust through technology in government services, download this white paper. AI errors in government contexts can harm real people. And this is why every government AI deployment needs human-in-the-loop design, not AI handling everything autonomously, not AI as the final word, and definitely not the decision maker. So instead, here's what we do. AI handles routine, high confidence cases, the clear-cut situations where it's very likely to be right. Humans review anything uncertain, cases where the AI's confidence is lower, where the stakes are high. Humans handle anything high stakes, decisions with significant consequences, situations requiring judgment, cases involving vulnerable populations. The agencies I see that are succeeding with AI aren't replacing humans with AI. They're augmenting humans, giving them these high-powered tools, using AI to handle volume and routine so humans can focus on complexity and judgment. Think of it like triage. AI does the initial sorting, humans do the diagnosis and treatment. So, design your AI implementations with explicit escalation paths. When should AI hand off to a human? At what confidence threshold for which types of requests? How will humans review AI outputs? Is there a quality assurance process? Are you sampling and checking? What is the feedback loop when AI goes wrong or gets it wrong? How do you identify errors? How do you correct the system? These aren't afterthoughts. They're core design requirements. Once again, requirements are part of software development and deployment, and so they are with AI deployments. An AI system without oversight is a liability waiting to happen. Reason 5, what I call success theater instead of success metrics. So I see this pattern constantly. AI pilots that are declared successful without anyone defining what success meant. We're launching the chatbot. That's an output. It's not an outcome. Launching is just putting something into production. Did it accomplish anything? Users are engaging with it. How? Are they getting problem solved? Or are they interacting briefly and then calling the help desk anyway? I sat through a demo at a conference from a major AI provider in the GovTech space, and their performance metric was how many queries were being made or how many prompts were being made in their system. And they took that as a success metric. But were those prompts useful? Were they providing outcomes? Were they helping people? No data on that. The technology works. Working and delivering value aren't the same thing. A chatbot can work, respond to inputs, not crash while being completely useless. Leadership is excited. Excitement is not a metric. Excitement fades. What happens when the novelty wears off? Without clear success metrics defined before you start, AI pilots become success theater. Everyone involved has incentive to declare victory. Vendors want a reference customer. IT wants to show innovation. Leadership wants to demonstrate modernization and look good to the board and to the press or whoever's keeping an eye on you. So the pilot is declared successful, whether or not it actually is. And then you've spent millions on something that doesn't work, and everyone pretends otherwise. So what should we do instead? How should we think about this? Like I said, before starting any AI pilot, define specific measurable outcomes. Define the pilot. And pilot definition can actually be a project in itself because you're thinking about your vision, your current state, what the gaps are in technology, and which specific use cases could use AI to make those outcomes happen. It shouldn't be vague, not improve citizen service, because that is so vague. Instead, reduce average call volume for status checks by 40% within 6 months of launch. Now that's specific. Not increase efficiency. Instead, decrease average time to process routine permit questions from 15 minutes to under 2 minutes. The other one is not demonstrate AI capabilities. Instead, achieve 85% first contact resolution rate for information requests in the chatbot, with less than 10% escalation to human agent. These are real targets you can measure, real numbers you can check, real success or failure you can assess honestly. Then we should actually measure. Track the metrics, report honestly. If you're not hitting targets, the pilot isn't successful, regardless of how impressive the technology looks. This takes courage. This takes patience. This takes stepping back and making sure you're ready for the pilot. It's easier to declare victory. It's easier to declare victory than to admit something isn't working. But honest assessment is how you learn, like in the rest of life. It's how you improve. It's how you avoid wasting money on things that don't work. Let me give you a practical frame. Now, here's a practical framework. Before any AI initiative, pilot, test, name it what you want, before you do anything with AI, answer these 6 questions honestly. Question 1, what specific problem are we solving? Not, we want to use AI. What problem? What's the pain point? What's the current cost in money, in time, in citizen frustration, or staff frustration? If you can't articulate the problem clearly and specifically, you're not ready. 2, is this problem actually AI appropriate? Is it high volume? Is it repetitive? Is it primarily data retrieval or pattern matching? Or does it require human judgment, context, and handling novel situations? Be honest, wanting AI to work for a problem doesn't make it appropriate. Question 3, do we have clean data? Is the data clean, consistent, complete, and representative? Have you audited it? Would a human analyst trust it? If not, your AI will learn garbage and produce garbage. Question 4, What does success look like? Specific metrics, measurable outcomes, not improved efficiency, quantified targets. Write them down. Get agreement from stakeholders. Commit to measuring. Question 5. What's our human in the loop design? When does AI escalate? Who reviews outputs? How do you catch and correct errors? If the answer is AI handles it all autonomously, that's a bad idea and you're not ready. Question 6. Have we tested on real conditions? Not a vendor demo environment. Your data, your users, your systems, your edge cases. If the AI provider can't or won't do a proof of concept on your actual infrastructure, be very skeptical. If they're pushing you to just go live, be very careful. If you can answer all 6 questions confidently, you might be ready for an AI pilot. If you're uncertain on any of them, any single one, you're not ready. Fix the gaps first. Investing in an AI pilot before you're ready means spending money to learn lessons you could have learned for free. And one more thing, and this is important. Every AI vendor is pushing AI right now because it's the hot selling point. There's enormous pressure to do something with AI before your peers do. Council members are asking about AI. Department heads asking about AI. The conference circuit is all AI all the time. But here's the truth. Moving fast on AI doesn't give you an advantage. Moving right gives you an advantage. The agency that carefully selects the right problem, cleans their data, pilots thoughtfully, measures honestly, and scales what actually works, they'll be running effective AI in production, while the agencies that rushed are still debugging their chatbots and explaining to counsel why the investment hasn't paid off. Being second with something that works beats being first with something that fails. A client said to me a long time ago, we're the government. We don't want to be on the bleeding edge because the bleeding edge could make us bleed to death. So don't let the pressure to move fast push you into moving wrong. You're not late. You're not behind. You're not going to get left behind in this AI economy. There's a lot of time to figure this out. The big players are still figuring this out. So get your baselines right, and then you can move to AI. So here's what I want you to do with this. If you're facing pressure to do AI, whatever that means, from council, from leadership, from vendors constantly calling you, push back with the readiness checklist. We're committed to AI that works, not AI theater. Here are the 6 questions we need to answer before we're ready. If you want to learn more about the 5 AI maturity levels, click on this video. Now, that's not being slow. That's not being a Luddite. That's being smart with public money. And if you're already in an AI pilot that's struggling, if the demo looked great but the production is a mess, it's not too late to reset. Go back to the basics. What problem are you actually solving? Is the data ready? Are the success metrics clear? Is there a human in the loop? Sometimes the best thing you can do with a failing pilot or any project is to stop, diagnose honestly, and restart with the right foundation. Tell me in the comments, have you been through an AI pilot? Have you going through one right now? Are you thinking about it? What happened? What worked? What failed? I want to hear the real stories, not the press releases. Thank you for watching. AI isn't magic. It's a tool. Like any tool, it works when you use it for the right job, with the right preparation, and with realistic expectations. If you want to learn more about the state of technology and AI in GovTech, click on this video. I break down what current AI can and can't